For me, I love the month of January because I get to, we call it getting back to basics. It's about getting grounded. It's about really talking about what we say we believe because I know that, and I shared this last week, science of mind is really simple. You know, when you tell people, like, you do this and this happens. The practice of science of mind, little bit more difficult because we forget, right? We get caught up in our humanness and we either forget or we don't believe. We got lots of excuses, and yet it's always working, this universal presence in our life. And so the power of thought is basically, they say we have about 60,000 thoughts a day. Any of you remember all 60,000 of your thoughts? Anybody, please? Because me, I was trying to think. I don't remember what I was thinking before I came up here, right? And so to start to be conscientious, especially if you're looking at your life and thinking, that's not working in my life. And to realize that you are co-creating always with the divine. And so if something's not working in your life, then it probably has a lot to do with what is your most powerful thought. So last week, I asked people to think about writing a letter to themselves dated 12/31/2020 and say, "Dear, your name," and then write about how wonderful 2020 was. I am so grateful that, whatever that means. Has anybody done that yet? Yay, because I got envelopes. So if you have written your letter and you remembered to bring it, please put it in the envelope, seal it, put your name and address on the outside, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to collect those, I'm going to put them on an altar, and for every practitioner meeting, I will bring them to the practitioner meeting, so all the practitioners will pray on them once a month. I will pray on them every day, and at the end of the year, what will happen is then I will mail those out to you. This isn't something you're sharing with me. This isn't something you're sharing with this community. This is you and the divine. This is you being intentional about your thought. Because here's the deal. The universe is always in play. So I can either intend how I want my day to look, or I can let the universe play out my day for me based on those subconscious thoughts that I have no idea that I'm thinking. 60,000 thoughts are in play. And so for me, it's maybe I want to be a little bit more intentional. Maybe I want to grasp hold of what is the most powerful thing I'm thinking right here and right now? What is it in my life that I want to shift and change? What's not working? What is working? If something's working, give it more thought, right? So how much do you think this weighs? 10 ounces. Anybody? 2 pounds? The thing is, it doesn't matter how much it weighs. It matters how much it weighs based on how long I hold on to it. Right? So right now I can hold on to it. It's no big deal. If I try to hold on to this, and I'm not going to, because first of all, I'm holding it with my arm that's not doing me favors right now. If I hold it in my good arm, and I hold it for a minute or two, I'm good, right? If I hold it for 10 minutes, I'll probably start doing this. Beyond 10 minutes, trust me, I'm not going there. I'll put it down. But it will get heavier based on the amount of time I grasp a hold of it and keep it up in the air. Now think about that same thing about your thoughts. What are those thoughts that daily you think about that aren't supporting the truth of who you are? Because we talked last week about we're all God in form, right? We all have that power and presence within us to change our reality. I had the great fortune of being able to write a chapter for a book that has not been published yet. It'll probably be March or April, called Never Too Late. And the author of the book picked 8 women to write a chapter on how they have shifted their life into being the powerful presence they are in the world right now. And boy, I said that out loud. And that's how my friend perceives me, even though sometimes I don't. So that's a thought I can work on, isn't it? That I don't see myself the way other people see me. And so it's like looking at myself and seeing myself like other people see me. So as I was writing this, it was an opportunity to go down memory lane, because it was basically what my life was like before Science of Mind and what my life was now that I have found Science of Mind and become a minister. Nothing is wrong with either story. It's just that they're entirely different. And I was the maker of both stories. Nobody made me be the person I was when I was 14. Nobody made me continue that lifestyle until I was 50 and decided enough, and I changed it and flipped it entirely. That is the power of this philosophy. And yet, even though I know that, even though it has drastically changed my life, I still push up against those things of really being perceived as somebody who has power. You know, being a woman who has power and who has joy and who has a lot of love and is doing what she loves. But being that person and then saying that out loud, big divide. Do you know which chapter was or which part of my life was the easiest to write? The first part. The first part was the easiest to write, because the second part, I had to own what I had become. And that's scary. That is scary, to see yourself as other people see you. It wasn't scary when I was all of those other things. It's scary being this person. Because there's part of me that probably believes I don't deserve it. So how many of you have those thoughts sometime in your life? Yay. Oh, thank God I'm not alone. So yeah, it's about really claiming who you are and owning those thoughts. And that's not by being somebody who brags all the time, or somebody who is constantly telling I am so fabulous. You know, nobody wants to hear that. However, what thoughts are disconnecting me from my belief that I'm fabulous? That's what it's about. You don't have to tell people when you're fabulous, people know it. Right? You don't have to go around with a big sign and say, oh, my life is so perfect. People know it. And perfect is probably not the right word. However, when somebody asks me what was my greatest joy in 2019, I was like, wow, it was a great year. You know, the whole year. How do I sum it up into one great joy? And then a friend reminded me, well, you did write that chapter for the book. And that was a great joy, so I used that. And yet I am blessed with a life that I'm really happy with. And the real trick is not to get lazy. Because I think that happens in our life at times. Our life is good and we're not paying attention, right? We aren't paying attention. We get complacent and a little bit lazy about how we do this philosophy. And so for me, what 2020 was or is, because it is perfect vision, it's going back to those basic things that we learn here. Meditate every day. Every day. Be conscious of what you're thinking. Eckhart Tolle in A New Earth says, do not put I am in front of any negative thought. I am judgmental. I feel that I judge people a lot. Whole different type of energy. We tend to do that a lot. I am this, I am that. I had a friend who decided she was going to peel back all of her I am statements to find out who she really was. She spent a month doing it. You know, I am a mother. I am a daughter. I am a wife. I am a minister. I am a practitioner. I am a little bit crazy. I'm this, I'm that. She peeled it back. Day by day, getting into the truth. Who am I? What did she find out? She's God in form. The rest is just a label. And that's the power of this philosophy, is really getting into who am I really? When I take away all the labels, all the things I've been told, because your thoughts are based on what? What you've been told by people, correct? They've become your beliefs, and so you create thoughts from those beliefs, and your experiences. You have a bad experience as a small child. What's the first thing you do? You don't want to have that experience again, right? So what story do you tell yourself so that will never happen again? And what happens is, it starts to happen all the time, because you have now created this reality where you don't want something to happen, so you're trying to protect yourself from it all of the time, and you're wondering why this same person keeps showing up in my life all the time. What is that about? People keep saying the same thing to me all the time. What is that about? I shared this many, many times, and I still use it. When somebody says something unkind to you, instead of thinking that you have to respond and give what they have said power, take a breath and ask yourself, I wonder why I gave that person that script. Because if it didn't bother you, they either wouldn't have said it, or they would have said it and you just would have moved on. It wouldn't have even gotten into your consciousness. The fact somebody says something to you and it bothers you, there's something inside of you that needs to be healed. Now, I'm not saying that that's a pass for us to start being unkind to each other, to find out like, oh, I wonder what button I can push in this person today. It's just to remember that life is always happening. And it's an opportunity. Everything in life is an opportunity asking us, how are we going to respond? Are we going to respond with our human self? Or are we going to respond with our higher self? And our higher self will always respond with love and compassion. Our human self, not so much. Right? Because we have this need to be right. We have this need to think that our opinion outweighs everybody else's opinion, that it is gospel. And the truth is, our opinions are just that. They are our opinions, and we all have them. Everybody in this room has opinions about everything. Doesn't make them right, doesn't make them wrong, doesn't make it truth. It's an opinion, and it's theirs. And have you ever noticed how sometimes you'll meet somebody and your opinions are so opposite and you both want to hold on to them so tightly, right? Nobody wants to move an inch. I recommend in those situations to just not respond at all. Would you rather be right, or would you rather be happy? You know, it's a common question that we ask all the time. What's more important, being right or being happy? For me, I'm deciding to be happy is more important to me than to be right. Now, does that mean that somebody isn't going to say something to me and I'm going to not be paying attention and I'm going to say something unkind back? Possibly. I'm not owning it, but possibly it could happen. And then for me to sit and figure out, who is that person? What have they triggered in me? Where is that from? Because here's the thing. They are not triggering you standing there in the moment. They are triggering an old hurt. They are triggering an old defense. They are triggering something that you have carried with you your entire life and you've shared it with nobody. And somebody says just the right thing at just the right time, and it's like, there it is. Oops, there it is. I forget, that's a song. But anyway, right? So it's spiritual growth is about learning how to be present to everything that's going on and to find that place in yourself that you can respond with love instead of just responding. Does that make sense? So the power of our thought is based on, and they can be changed, right? So I had shared months ago that Marie Manicherry had shared with me when I talked to her about affirmations. And her belief is, and it kind of makes sense, that sometimes affirmations take a long time to work or don't work at all, because we will say an affirmation and immediately our subconscious mind is going, yeah, no, that's not true. You know, I am a millionaire. And my subconscious mind is like, have you looked at your bank account lately? You know, I weigh 130 pounds. Yeah, no, you don't. Have you stepped on the scale today? Right? And so your subconscious mind is always pushing up against affirmations. And so the gift she gave to me is to switch the affirmation, because your subconscious mind also is really, really curious. And so instead of saying I am a millionaire, what if I said, well, what if I were a millionaire? Now my subconscious mind has something to play with. I don't know. What if you are a millionaire? What would that look like? What would you do? What if I weighed 130 pounds? I don't know. Most of your friends would think you're too skinny. So maybe you want to pick a different weight. Have you ever said that to somebody? Oh, I'd like to weigh 130. And the first thing they say is, oh, no, you don't want to weigh that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to zip my mouth on what I want to weigh. Right? Because we all, again, have opinions, and they're worried about me. They love me. They're not saying things like that out of being unkind. They're saying it because they love me. I'm saying it as a goal. And yet there's something in me that wants to hear, you don't want to do that. That's not healthy. Why? Because then I can go home and eat ice cream. I have a very powerful subconscious mind. Now think about it, because I am not the only person that has a very powerful subconscious mind. I'm not the only person that sets myself up to not do what I have intended to do, because I have called forth somebody in my life to say, oh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to weigh that. That wouldn't look good on you. Okay. 6 cookies instead of 4, please. Right? So each one of us has to start looking at who's saying things to us and why. They're only saying things to you because you're allowing it to be said. There's something in you that wants to be heard, and the best deliverer of the message is another person. Right? You're not paying attention to 60,000 thoughts. Let somebody say it out loud to you. Then it's real. Then it's like, ooh, I want to look at that. So the power of your thought, it's based on your beliefs, it's based on your experiences, and you have an opportunity to change it. So anything in your life that's not working. You know, Ernest Holmes absolutely believed beyond a doubt that we could have anything we wanted, we could heal anything we wanted, and we could do it all with the power of our mind. And a lot of you will go right to yabbits. Yabbits. Yeah, but the doctor said. Yeah, but this. And it's true. I have a friend that wants to talk in the future about a situation in her life, and you know, when she asked me about it, and I made a pass. And truly, there are no passes in this philosophy. It's working all the time. And so it's working on your prominent belief, your prominent thought. So if something's not working in your life, first of all, please go see a practitioner or minister for prayer and kind of start clearing that stuff out. And then realize you are a powerful machine. And if you believe that at the very core of who you are, you can have anything you want. What's stopping you is old beliefs, old stories, and an old record. You're stuck in a groove. You need to pick the needle up and move it. None of us can do that for you. You can sit with a practitioner every Sunday after service. And you can come up and say to the practitioner the same story every single Sunday, and they will pray for you. And unless you move your feet, your life is not going to change. It may look a little better at times, and it will shift back, and it will be a roller coaster ride. For me to look back at my life at a whole entire year, and I could look back more than just this year, but this was the first year that I was asked the question, and to look back at the whole year and go, wow, it was all good. It was all good. Now, does that mean it was all roses all the time? No. But it was a great year. And I know when I write my letter for intending this coming year, 2020 is going to be better than 2019. That's the importance of writing this letter. You don't have to do it, but you either engage the universe in what your intention is, or you just let the universe run your life. And it's up to you. Either works, right? Either works. For me, I want to make sure that I am constantly in play with the universe, that I am constantly paying attention. And when something happens or something's said, that I go within and figure out, what was that all about? Why did that comment make me want to explode? So that's the gift of the power of the mind. Each one of you has it, the power of your thought. Nobody can take it away from you. We've shared the stories before of people in concentration camps that survived, and their survival was based on the power of their thought. There was a man that, I don't know if you remember the story, and they found out that he was taking care of other prisoners in Auschwitz. Thank you. He was taking care of the prisoners, so they stripped him naked and brought him in front of whoever was responsible for that camp, and stood him there. And they made him take off his wedding ring. And it was the only thing he had left of his wife and of his family, because they had all been executed. Only thing he had was that wedding ring. And they took it. And they took it because they thought they could break him. And he looked right at the man and he said, I will never be you. Take whatever you need to take. I will never be you. I will be love regardless. That is the power of your thought. That and he survived so he could tell his story. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I don't think any of us do. But to remember, your thoughts are powerful things. And they're playing out in your life all the time. Oh my God, 60,000 of them a day. That's a lot. I didn't divide that to figure out how much an hour, but still, that's a lot. It's a lot of thought. And so to start to clear out the ones that aren't working for you and allow the rest to bubble up, so you can start looking at all of those places that may be keeping you stuck. So let's pray. And today, because it's Super Bowl, we're doing the Super Bowl, and because Mike Kuntz was, he was really responsible, especially last year, for us repeating. He took, when people made cash donations, he took those cash donations and he would run to Winco and buy all the cans and bring them back. And so today, you can close your eyes and you can feel the energy of Mike, and I am going to pray for his highest and best. So Father, Mother, God, Spirit, right here and right now, knowing that there is a divine presence, it is the truth of who I am, it is the truth of everyone in this sanctuary, it is the truth of all people everywhere, that we are all one with that mighty force that is in us, as us, through us. It is that power, that presence, that one. And I know as it is present everywhere, it is present within Mike. And I know regardless of where Mike is right here and right now, he feels the vibration and the love of this community. He knows at the very depth of his beingness that he is supported and loved by the Genesis community, by his 12-step community, by his family. And he feels that love. And it allows him the space. It allows him the space to just be. To be in calm, peaceful sense of self. And so I hold this in my heart for Mike, that whatever his path, I know that it is blessed and he is loved. That each person here sends him that vibrational love, that compassion, that knowing. That we come together as a community as we always do. And whether a person is here or whether they're in the hospital or in a nursing home, they're as close as our voice, they're as close as our thought. And so for that, I just say, we love you, Mike. We send you healing vibrations, no matter what that looks like for you and your soul. I give great thanks for this time and this space and this opportunity to bless Mike, to bless his family, to bless his friends, and to bless this community. We take these words and we give them over into the law, knowing that as they are given, they are received with divine love, with purpose, and with intent. That God has said yes because it always says yes to every thought that we have. And it is in that we let go, we let God, and together we say, and so it is.